So, welcome to our latest edition of Hypnotherapy Reflections, from training to practice. And today we have the lovely Christine Courtney with us. Christine qualified as a solution-focused hypnotherapy just under 2 years ago, almost to the day, I think, and has been supporting people for a lot longer than that. So we're going to explore her journey, the unique insights, both the ones she's got personally over the years and particularly over the last 2 years, that she might have gained since she's been doing the powerful version of the solution focused hypnotherapy, but also what she might have done before, what got her to where she is. And we're really going to just have a nice chat. So get ready for an inspiring conversation highlighting the transformative power of hypnotherapy. So let's introduce Christine. Christine, hello.
Hi, Gary. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, cool. So do you want to introduce who you are, where you're from, where your practice is, what it's called?
Yeah. So I'm Christine from Light in the Dark Hypnotherapy, and I'm based here in Carlisle. I do a lot of online sessions. So basically, I'm from all over the place, but my office is based in Carlisle right now.
Cool. Do you see people face to face as well?
I do. About 80% of my people are online, but I've just got myself a little office sorted out because more and more clients wanted to see me face to face.
Yeah.
And we're doing it from my house. I thought, I'll get a little office going, so I'm just about starting that now.
So I think we see that quite often where people want a more blended service. So some people definitely online, and I think I've spoken to quite a few people recently who are doing a bit of both. So that's really nice. So I've sent you a list of questions I might ask you. I might change my mind as always.
Okay.
You know me well enough.
I do.
But what I'd really like to know to start with is what motivated you to pursue training as a solution-focused hypnotherapist?
Well, as you said before, I was involved in hypnotherapy. First of all, I was working in a physiotherapy clinic, and I was basically seeing lots of depressed people, people who were injured, couldn't go to work, couldn't go to school, couldn't carry on with their sports. So seeing a lot of, very stressed out people. So I did meet up with a lady that was doing hypnotherapy, and I did a little bit of training in that, not solution focused. And I started off with hypnotherapy, and I was working there for about a year. So I was basically doing the physiotherapy office, working a little bit in a hospital, and also doing hypnotherapy.
Oh, lovely. So what motivated you to then learn them?
The way I motivate, that was the question, wasn't it? I was motivated because I wanted to help people. I could see people getting better physically, but it didn't necessarily mean they were getting better mentally. I all around me just seemed to be a lot of stress. So I really wanted to help that part of people too. Want them to go back to school, back to work, feeling happy with themselves and not,
So you was already working in the field of mental health, and you was already doing hypnotherapy. So you didn't really need to retrain in solution-focused hypnotherapy. What brought that about?
Well, I started to read about when I moved back I was in Canada at the time.
Oh, okay. So you was
living in
the
Canada.
lovely, beautiful country of Canada.
Oh, beautiful, even more in the summer, not so beautiful in the winter, unless you're an avid winter sports person, which I am not.
No, I don't do any sport anymore. But one of my colleagues, he's always, every opportunity he gets, he's on the ski slope. So he would have loved it.
Yeah, I wish I could have done that. I did try and try again, but no. So yes, when I moved back to the UK, I did want to keep on doing hypnotherapy because I really liked it, but there was something missing in the hypnotherapy I was doing, which I found in solution focus, in as that people were still unhappy. They were still sitting there talking to me and being depressed and sad. Because we weren't doing the solution focus. We weren't moving forward. We were just talking about their traumas and making them relive their traumas. So when I discovered solution focus hypnotherapy and read more about that, I thought, this is what I want to do. I want people to be leaving happy, not sad.
So it was something in you where you really wanted to help people. And it sounds like whether that was doing physio or whether working in a hospital or even the hypnotherapy you was already doing, you was really invested in helping
Oh,
people,
definitely, definitely.
but you wanted people to leave feeling better than when they turned up.
Definitely. I went through so many boxes of Kleenex, so many boxes of tissues when I saw people, and it was a bit of a joint venture with a friend of mine. So she would see a couple, I would see a
Yes.
couple. It wasn't massive, but it was only part-time. It was in working as well. But I used to say to her, people like just coming in and they come in smiling and good morning and what's been going on, and then they leave like crying and the faces are all red and
Oh,
it
wow. So
it
very
just
different.
wasn't, it just wasn't what I was looking for.
Yeah, very different. I mean, you definitely help people still, but
Oh, you
different.
do? No, I'm not knocking it. I think that any therapy you get is good therapy.
So
But
I guess the inspiration behind, first of all, training in the field of therapy, hypnotherapy, was you saw people who were physically getting better, but it wasn't mentally getting better. So
they
you
weren't
wouldn't have
meant
went
to
to
be
that
getting better.
string.
Yes,
And then you was helping people get mentally better, but it was really tough for them. They found it hard work and they were getting upset.
yes,
Um, so the solution focus side, when you then come back to the UK, you was able to train in a
yeah,
methodology which fixed all the boxes and ticked all the boxes and made people happy and
definitely.
better. And
Yeah.
you was better
I
able to
was able
handle it.
better because who wants to talk about something that was bad in the past? Who wants to relive that? And a part
Mm,
of me knew that because I'd had counseling done many years. I'd had therapy done. So I knew in the back of my mind, that,
yeah.
what it was like, but I still thought, oh yes, I'm still helping people. But that niggly little voice in my mind was saying, this isn't really good for me.
So coming from Canada back to the UK, going into top of England in Cumbria, which is fairly
Yeah.
sparse in many, from a population point of view. So how did you discover CPHT, and then how did you make that choice about the solution focus program we offer?
Well, I was looking around at all the different hypnotherapy trainings to see what I could find, all
Mm.
the courses, and solution focused hypnotherapy came up. I read a lot about that. And then I just started Googling all over the place, universities, colleges, what would fit in with my lifestyle. Could I do it part-time? Do I have to go full-time? A university thing wasn't for me, having to go full-time. Um, Plus, I probably would have been the oldest person there, but that anyway. So I came across CPHT. I read a lot about it, and I thought, you know what, this may work. And then I had an interview or a discovery call, whatever you want to call it, with yourself. And you answered all of my questions, and you do remember I asked a lot of questions.
Yeah, we love lots of questions because I think one of the things I wanted to make sure, and I still want to make sure of anybody's interest in the course, it's the right course for them. I'd rather people
Definitely.
not join the course if they're not sure, because I want to make sure they're investing in themselves in the right space. So we love lots of questions because hopefully we can answer them all so you can make a proper informed decision. And did you feel
Mhm.
like that?
Oh, totally. You answered all of my questions. And I think we had two calls. If I'm probably did have two calls, I wouldn't have been happy with just one. And I was writing more questions down and more questions, and you answered everything that I needed. And you even gave me time to stand back and time to think about it. I know
Oh
the
yeah,
course is starting,
again, I think most people in our industry are very much wait until tomorrow. We don't
mm,
like to make knee-jerk reactions. I think
no,
that makes us good therapists, I guess. We like to ponder things, and I think that's
ponder
quite
things.
important. There's no
Yeah,
hardness to
that's
our
right.
process.
But yeah, so I liked our conversations. I liked what I was reading, and I did like the fact that we did not go back into people's
Yeah,
past, and I like that. I thought, you know what, let me try that. And it worked in with my schedule, with my work schedule and everything. I could do
yeah.
that. I knew there was going to be a lot of homework, a lot of learning. I just was drawn to it.
So how has the training you've done with CPHT shaped the approach you now have with clients? Because you've worked problem focus, as I might call it. You've
Yeah,
worked within hospitals and things. You've also worked in a completely different culture, you know, in Canada. How is that now shaping up for you? Has it changed the way you work?
definitely. It's changed my way of thinking a lot. Personally, I'm a lot less stressed than what I used to be. I can stand up and talk in front of people. I love talking about solution-focused hypnotherapy. I just did a talk, a lunch and learn with the Chamber of Commerce here.
Brilliant.
Talked
Wow.
about it then. I've got a monthly gig where I go to a hotel and I talk to their employees there.
Oh, excellent.
The guy was my client, the manager, and he asked me
Yeah.
to come in, and so I talk about that. I do mention where I got my training. I just talk
Does
about
it, do
positivity.
you work with clients on an individual basis when you actually work on them differently now you've understood more about how the
Oh,
solution
oh
focus works?
yes,
Do you think you
yes.
work differently with people
I
now?
work definitely differently with people. People always like to bring up the negative side and bring up things that happened. So we basically talk that through a little bit, but then I
Mm,
explain to them that, you know, we don't go that way. We're all about moving forward, taking steps to move forward and
yes.
finding our best selves. And yes, I like that. I like that people are really happy that I'm moving them on. I've never had one client yet that says, well, I want to talk about what happened to me.
No.
They look quite happy and ready to go.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have more patience with two. I actually shut up and let them talk.
Wow.
I
That
know.
it
I
only took a
know.
years of training to get you
I knew
there.
you would love that one. But yes, I'm a lot more patient with people, and yes, it totally has. It changed me a lot, the training.
That's so good to hear. So one of the things about CPHT is very neuroscience based. There's
Mhm.
lots of information, lots of knowledge about how we tick as human beings and that. But that's a shift in um, surface because it's very much based on neuroscience. So there's lots of developments, all new stuff
Mhm.
within the field of what we do in
Yeah.
hypnotherapy. How do you stay current with that?
Well, I'm always reading all the time. I'll read anything that's solution focused. I'm listening to um, uh, uh, the associations
Yeah, yeah.
that you move us to, the AFSFH, with that too, and the
Mm,
supervision that we get from you and your colleagues is wonderful and brings us all up to date with
yes.
everything. Yeah, I really
So,
like that.
there's that thing. So in the middle of that, there's you.
Mhm.
And one of the things we hear a lot is about work-life balance.
Mm.
So how does running a hypnotherapy practice, finding time for you, being a parent, everything in there, how does that all unfold for you? How do you
Well,
manage that?
I'm really good at setting boundaries now. I wasn't at first. I really wasn't at first. Now I am very good at setting boundaries. These are my times. This is what I do. And this is one of the reasons why I took an office to
Mm.
separate it a little bit more from my house. I was thinking, oh, it'd be great working from my front living room. But when my granddaughters want to come in and watch the TV, and grandma's saying, no, 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 I've got a client. So I decided to, yes, I'm going to have a little office and I can do my online there too, and basically separate it all. So that's helped, you know.
Yeah.
And basically just making sure I do self-care with myself and I have time for myself
I was
as
going
well.
to say, what self-care things do you put in there to keep you grounded is a way we often talk about it, but just what self-care do you put in place so you're effective when you're
Mm.
with your clients? How do you look after you?
Oh, I look after me by going out and walking in nature. I love the countryside, walking around anything with a waterfall or stream or
Well, there's a lot of it
trees.
in Cumbria, isn't
There
there?
is, and I love it. There was quite a bit in Canada too, where I was, but
Yeah.
I found lots here now. I like doing that. I love reading, like I say, and
Yeah.
music. I love just turning up the rock channel
Yeah.
and just dancing around the house like a crazy person. My hoovering or anything, it just gets all my
I
out of
can't
me.
imagine ever
Yeah.
anybody thinking you're a crazy person.
Well, for want of a better word, but yes,
No,
just
no,
doing things
I
like that.
agree with the statement, but you know.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, doing that. Just to get out as much as I can. I love walking. I'll walk into town if I'm heading
Yeah.
anywhere rather than jump on the bus. I like walking. So that grounds me. Clears my
So
head.
in your practice,
Mhm.
is there any sort of success stories you can share, or something which you work with and it's like, wow, that I didn't expect that person to get that amazing outcome, or something like that?
Well, I've had quite a few success stories, but I know we all have. I think a success story was when I had a lady who wouldn't leave the house
Mm,
because she thought that she was too overweight. She
yeah.
wouldn't go outside. She wouldn't go into town because she could see a reflection of herself in the windows. She would take a dog out for a walk in the morning, early mornings when there was nobody around, or in the nighttime. She was basically almost housebound. She didn't want to go
Wow.
anywhere. And by the time we finished our sessions, I could see a big difference in about 6 sessions. But by the time we got to, let's say, 12, maybe she had a little bit more after that. She was going on holiday. She joined the
Wow.
gym. She didn't care. She was going in town. She was buying the smallest, loveliest little dresses. That was
Wow.
such a success story. And for something that was surprising, I had a lady that had been a teacher for many, many years, loved
Yes.
teaching, loved children, but then decided that she was stuck in a rut. And what she really wanted to do was be a singer. So
Wow.
she left that and she started a career in music. And she's even been on Britain's Got Talent.
Wow.
She auditioned for that and went on that. So yeah,
Brilliant.
that
So
was the most surprising. From a
how,
teacher to now a singer.
how does that make you feel?
Oh, it makes me feel great because when they first come in and they're all down and they don't know where to go and what they want to do, and by the end of those sessions, it's great. And I love it when they say, "Oh, you changed my life." You told us in the class. Lots of times people would say that, and they do. It's
Yeah.
just amazing.
So we know, and you've got evidence there of how profound those sessions can be and how much change can happen, literally
Mhm.
change someone's life. But we run into people who are skeptics. We
Mhm.
get skepticism or misconceptions about what hypnosis is and what we
That's
do.
right.
How do you handle those?
Well, first of all, I do laugh like a lot of people because before I knew anything about hypnosis, when I used to watch stage hypnosis, I didn't know any better. So,
Yes.
so I explained to them that it's all scientifically based. I explained to them, what really goes on in the brain. If they want to listen that long, first of all, I just tell them that is absolute rubbish,
Yeah.
and yeah, I give them an explanation of what really goes on, and I assure them that it's not mind control. We
Yeah.
don't have a watch in front of your face, and you're not made to do what you don't want to do. No, you're completely in control. You can get up and walk away if you like.
Yeah. Do
So,
do you find, because a lot of the course includes understanding a little what we might call neuroeducation, we put a
mhm.
lot in that. Does that help you to explain it to people so they change their perspective, they get more confident when they've got better understanding of what you can offer?
Yes, well, just an explanation of the brain,
Yeah.
basically, just telling them that and how things work, and your primitive mind and everything. They're just blown away. I have a lot of nurses, well, not a lot. I have a few nurses come to me, and they don't even know anything about
Yeah.
that. They haven't been taught. Of course, they're fantastic at their jobs, but they don't know how the mind works. And
No, and absolutely. And I don't know about on your course, but we do get lots of nurses
mm,
and medical professionals on the
medical
courses
professionals,
to
yeah.
get through. And we get a number of psychologists on the course and doctors of psychologists, because I think there's enough definite shift in how we work with people and
Mm,
that level of understanding. So that's good to know. So
yeah.
on that note, what's it done for you? What personal transformation have you think that you've experienced as a result of learning solution focused hypnotherapy? What's it done for you?
Well, it's done for me. Well, I think, like I said, I've got a lot more patience with people now. I feel more, I understand myself more. I'm more in the moment with things now. My thoughts and my feelings are a lot calmer. I think everything is just calmer.
And how does that affect the world around you and the people
Oh,
around you?
oh. I don't know. I think my partner definitely has seen a transformation in me.
Yeah.
Over the years, we've been together 35 years. And I think sometimes I just see him looking at me and he's picking up my books and handing me my book when I'm home. Definitely a transformation in me. I'm a lot nicer person, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I,
actually when I'm in the sessions, when I'm doing sessions with people, I'm getting the therapy myself.
yes.
Because, so that's great. You see 3, 4 clients a day. I'm getting that therapy. So
Yeah.
I'm sleeping well, it's great, it's good.
I,
And I also, sorry.
well, you said it makes you a nicer person. And I don't think anybody's come on to train in therapy not already thinking they're a nice person.
Mm.
But I think we start, it doesn't mean you was a bad person to start with,
No, I've
but
never been a bad person.
it's amazing how we go, well, we're even better than we were.
Yes. Yeah,
And
my
that's
best self.
amazing.
I think being my best self. Yeah. Even
Yeah.
when I come across people who are not so nice to me for whatever reasons, sometimes you get that with people coming in you don't know, they're very defensive.
Yes.
I don't take anything personally. It's
No.
more that they need to talk things out, they have their problems, and yeah.
I mean, it's hard to not take things personally. Sometimes we all have those moments. We're not all perfect. But I
No.
remember hearing, and I try and live it, and it's something which I think when we're solution focused in our approach and our way to life is that, criticism becomes feedback.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not criticizing me, they're giving me feedback
Yeah. Yeah,
to,
that's a great way of thinking about it. Yes.
and
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So while you was training, how did you find it from getting support? Was that accessible? Was the instructors as accessible, the mentors, and even, the support from your own cohort? Was it a supportive experience? Did you always find that you was able to get support when you needed it?
Yeah, very. With yourself, who was training him, you were always available. We could email you or call you if it was needed. Not that we would call you, but we could email you and ask questions. The trainers that were with you, the 2 ladies that were with you,
Yeah,
they were always available. And even just the peer system, the people, our colleagues, who are learning, we all help each other. We had a little
yeah,
Facebook group, WhatsApp group chat, and we would talk about, what we'd done that day, what kind of people we had, help each other. So yeah,
yeah.
there was a lot of support. I felt, yeah, we
Oh,
never on a
that's really
limb.
nice to hear.
Yeah.
And is that, you know, been ongoing since you graduated, since you become a full-time practitioner, or in your case, part-time?
Yeah.
Has that
Almost full
support
time.
continued? Sorry?
Almost full time. I'm
Yeah,
working.
absolutely.
Yeah,
But you're in control of that. I mean, that's
that's
so
true.
lovely that
Yeah,
you choose, you're the boss of who you are and what you do.
that's right.
But how's that been supported ongoing since? Because I've met lots of people who've trained in therapy, they've
Mhm.
got their certificate, and that's it. It's
No.
like the organization doesn't go past that. How's
Oh
that?
no. So we were I'm part of professional bodies that you
Yeah,
introduce us to, so the FSFH and the NCH, so we get a lot of information from them, a lot of support. Again, your supervision that you do yourself, weekly, monthly, whatever supervisions are quite a lot actually. You do offer quite a lot of
mm,
supervision sessions, which is great, especially if you're working, you've got lots of different times set
yeah,
up for people. So that's great. If the Facebook supervision, that's lots of questions there. And again, my colleagues that we were training with, we
hmm,
still in touch with each other. We have a
yes,
meet up once a month, and we talk
brilliant.
and support and help each other. Like I will do a quick call to someone and say, how do you think about this? And they would say this.
Yeah,
And then I'd go back to the supervision page that you have on the Facebook,
yeah,
and maybe if I didn't quite get my answer, go to the knowledgeable people there, and it would
yeah.
help me. So
So
lots
it's
of
quite
support.
holistic. It's all round then.
Big. It's all round. It's great. It's a great, yeah. I never feel that I'm lost and I can't ask anybody, how to help me with a situation that I might not be too
I
confident
think
with.
that's really important. I mean, you live in and work as a therapist. It's quite an isolating world for some people. And I always felt, and you've mentioned me a couple of times, and that which is very kind of you. But the reason I do what I do is we know that it can be quite isolating because you can't talk to anybody about your clients
No, that's true.
apart from your peers.
That's
I
true.
always wanted to create something that was you could be part of that was bigger than yourself.
That's right.
And I think that's important. And that's what I do with what I do. And that's what CPHT offers is that once you've qualified, you can be part of something bigger than yourself.
That's
but
right.
still be in charge and in control of everything you do.
That's right. Yeah, it's very important and very appreciative of that, having that support group too. It's great.
So when you was training, is there anything what picks out for you, a real highlight during those training months, or something key for you that went, wow, that's made it worth it?
I forgot what the machine's called. Sorry, got a little bit of frog in my throat. Is it EEG machine?
Yeah, the EEG
Yes.
brain scanner.
Yes, that's it. When you brought that in and showed us, put it onto a friend's head and showed us, and we actually saw what happened in the brain, the shutting down of the primitive bit. It just blew my mind, basically, pardon the pun, but it did. It was, I really liked that. The explanation, everything, it was like actually seeing it happen rather than just hearing what happened.
We're the only people who have that, as far as I know,
Right.
in my knowledge. And I think it's vital that we can show you some physical evidence live. So I'm fortunate to have a portable EEG brain scanner.
Yes.
And you can actually see what happens in someone's brain while we're talking to them.
Yes, that was really good. That was great.
So that's amazing.
That was amazing. I tell people that a lot, that I saw that, and that is why I really thought, wow, I love that. I can see it happening. It really works. Also, when you talked about the teenage brain and how the teenage brain worked and how the differences, like the cognitive differences and how, all the different things, how their brain works, because I really like working with teenagers, and that was a really good understanding for me. Well, having, our children ourselves and them growing up, I thought, oh, I wish I'd have known how to handle that then when they were teenagers.
Many people say I've never got past that point of having a teenage brain, but that's a different story.
Yeah, well, but yes, so that too. And they were the key. I think they were the key
So
learning.
what do you now find most rewarding about your work as a solution-focused hypnotherapist?
Well, how more rewarding is when people are happy when they leave, definitely, because I never saw that before. When I worked as a hypnotherapist before, in the counselling before, I didn't. Well, they might give you a nod and a smile, but genuinely happy. And they go out there with a lot of hope that things are going, and, confidence that they can do it. I've had people sit here and just be, they wanted to get better. They tried different therapies. But when I've explained about the brain, explain what we do, they look at me and say, you know what, this is going to work. I know it's going to work. So right from the start, they already have the interest, so when people leave happy, then that makes me feel really, really good.
Excellent. So, I mean, you're one of the few people I've trained who have had multiple roles within caring for people. And you've actually learned 2 types of hypnotherapy. So what advice would you give to someone who's considering a career as a hypnotherapist? What would you say to them if they were going, oh, I'm thinking about it, it sounds good?
No, I would definitely tell them to go towards a solution-focused hypnotherapy. I think they'll be more rewarded, seeing people getting better quicker, seeing people happier. I think that I would definitely point them in your direction.
Well, that's kind.
Training, because of how thorough it all was.
Yeah.
And interesting and thorough. And I would tell them that just go for it, because there is a lot of people out there, so many, many people that need help with their mental problems and not enough therapists. They may say, oh, there's thousands of counselors, there's thousands of hypnotherapists, but there isn't. There's millions of people that that need the help. So I would tell them to go for it and to definitely take a look at the CPHT course.
That's excellent.
Mm.
So I sent you lots of what we might be talking about today, but what I didn't tell you is that there's a hidden question.
Okay. Yes, Gary.
So the last question I've got for you, if you could have or deliver hypnotherapy sessions for any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Well, that's great, isn't it? Who would it be and why?
Who would you like to have as a client from any time in history?
I was immediately going to say some nasty person that I could actually change their way of thinking into a more positive way.
Yeah, I don't think we're very good with psychopaths.
No, I don't think so either, but that one immediately jumped into my mind. I don't know. As somebody somebody in the past who is very quiet, historical. You throw me in this one.
I know.
Oh, who would I think of? Historical. I don't think I can answer.
You've got to be solution focused about it.
It was a
It
quiet
could be
person.
anybody. It could be a pop star. It could be a historical figure. It could be a member of the royal family. It could be anyone.
Could be anybody. Maybe Janis Joplin, because
Wow.
I think Janis Joplin had such a hard time before she came out of her shell. She was such a introverted person. She was bullied.
Was she?
Yes, I read all about her. She was bullied. People would say horrible, horrible things to her all the way through school, all the way through college, all the way through university, until then she suddenly came out of her shell and became Janis Joplin.
Amazing talent.
Amazing talent. But can you imagine if she'd had what talent? Talent would have come out earlier, and she wouldn't have had such a hard life. And maybe she wouldn't have died so early. Because she would have had more confidence in herself. Maybe she wouldn't have had to turn to coping mechanisms. Ended up killing her. So yeah, thank you for asking me that question. Took a while, but I think Janis Joplin.
Wow. Well, on that note, you better tell us all about Christine, how we can find you if somebody's interested in either using your services or just talking to you more. How would they find you? Both websites, social media, how would they get you?
Most of my clients are going through the hypnotherapy directory. So I am there under my name, Christine Courtney. And I'm Christine at Light in the Dark Hypnotherapy. On Facebook and on my webpage. My webpage is actually being revamped. So I would go to the hypnotherapy directory, but it's there. It's Light in the Dark Hypnotherapy, and that's on Instagram, on Facebook, and also on my webpage. But I think the hypnotherapy directory is a really good place to be. I remember I was a little bit about joining them, and you'd mentioned that, no, they are really good, and you got clients from them. And I have just had so many clients come through.
That's very good. I mean, it's good advice for anybody who's working as a hypnotherapist. But anybody who wants to work with you, it's Light in the Dark Hypnotherapy.
Yes, Light in the Dark Hypnotherapy.
All the social media platforms.
That's right.
And you've got a website. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So thank you for your time today. And it's been a pleasure, as always.
Thank you.
And good luck with everything. And I'm sure I'll see you sometime in the future on supervision.
Yes,
so thank you very much.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Gary. Yeah. Bye-bye.